Today we've got a Voigtlander treat, the 28mm f2.8, which we're going to be putting up against my 28mm f2.8 AIS.
Exactly.
Yes.
We thought we were just going to review one lens, but we're going to review both, and we're going to compare them. This one is an oldie but goodie, but this one is fairly fresh and modern.
It is, despite the fact that it looks like an oldie but goodie. Great.
That's all we're going to do.
Yeah, that's all we're going to do.
Can't see the picture, it says it's on film. Max, what's the close-up capabilities are like?
Okay, so closest focusing distance on this lens is 15 centimeters. On the 28 f2.8 Nikon lens, it's 20 centimeters. So you get an extra 5 centimeters there. But on top of that, the focusing increments are actually slightly smaller. So for sort of fine focusing at close distances, this lens, I'd say, is a little bit better. The throw is also slightly longer, which is helpful if you do stuff like me. I personally use a 28mm for sort of, for more like stuff like this.
Like for flowers.
And for a city crawler sort of lens. Yes, for flowers, always.
You know, I normally don't look forward to winter, but since we've been doing flowers for so long, can't wait for winter months.
When there are no flowers, is that what you're
So we
trying
can
to say?
shoot something else.
To your right is one of Britain's smallest birds. It's a wren. He's so tiny.
Yeah.
It's one of the smallest birds in the country.
Wow, I've never seen pigeon that small.
It's not a pigeon.
I know. Actually, that would work really well in black and white.
Do you think that the 28mm is just a lens that needs to be shot in black and white?
I think it's, yeah, it gives you that look. Okay, let's do some street photography shots. So I'm just going to take a shot of you like really close. So imagine I'm on a busy street and you just passing by, you know, and I'm like, boom, you know. It does give you that look. It does give you that look. You know?
Yeah, it looks so serious, but
Exactly.
it's good.
You see, for street photography, I don't need to be pin sharp.
No.
You know, I would rely heavily on my depth of field.
Right.
So, you know, we're going to use high focal distance. You mentioned the throw. It's quite long for macro photography. You can see that. So from 15 centimeters to about half a meter, that's very long. Now, for street photography, you don't need that. You actually need a very fast throw. And you need to know your focal distance. So in terms of this, you've got 1 meter to about infinity. And realistically, that is maybe 1.5 centimeters or half an inch or so.
Right.
So technically, if you keep your fingers around that distance and you set your depth of field, let's say to something like f8, you should get pretty good results.
Look, wait. That's how close I can get. Right there.
So welcome to my house. That's where we film other on-location videos, aka studio number 2. Let me show inside.
Very snazzy.
All right, let me see if I can actually do some interior shots with a 28mm. Is it wide enough? Why did I say I'm gonna do that? Okay.
I really don't know.
All right, look, the Nikon lens was produced from 1981 to 2020, so it's been 30 years without noticeable change in design and optical elements. Now, the Voigtlander lens came out just in October 2021, so basically a year ago. And it's cheap lens, so you can use it as plug and play on your DSLRs and film cameras. So it will work seamlessly with your film camera, with a high-resolution DSLRs with no noticeable fringing, etc., but also with your mirrorless camera as well. So it is sharper. However, if you're just film shooter, the Nikon 28 is still a good choice. If you want to future-proof a little bit and you want your lens to be used on pretty much everything Nikon made, then Voigtlander is a better choice. So advice here is, if it's your first 28mm lens and you want to use it on pretty much everything Nikon made, then go for Voigtlander lens. But if you've got a 28 already, or you're looking for a used 28, then the Nikon option is going to be a little bit cheaper.
The 28mm is an interesting focal length. With Nikon, we've got a 20, a 24, a 28, a 35, a 45 and a 50. So we've got lots of lenses bunched up in that sort of wide to mid end. Voigtlander have chosen to just do a 28 and then a 40. And I think the gaps between those two lenses is quite clever, really. 28 is a good travel, street, interior, exterior, and even close-up lens. Focal length, but it's not for everyone. Not everyone likes the 28mm focal length. Now this 28 2.8 is actually mine. It's the one that I normally use on my FM3A or my f6 when I'm traveling, because it's good for that kind of thing. On DSLRs, you can actually set the camera so that you can control the aperture through the aperture ring. Unfortunately, with chipped lenses like the Voigtlander, you can't do that. So you have to set the aperture at f22 and then control it from the command dials as you normally would with any autofocus lens, which is a little bit counterintuitive. So that's something to bear in mind if you're thinking of putting one on a Z. You won't get that experience of doing that. As you said, the 28mm really shines when you've got subjects quite close up and you're trying to get rid of the background, essentially. You've got this. Close
and personal.
Yeah.
You don't really take it to the field like we do. You go to the nitty and gritty of public spaces, of a crowded street, something like Oxford Street, etc., etc. And you shove the camera in the person's face, possibly with a flash, just to be on the safe side.
It's a kind of focal length which you can do a bit of everything with.
You can. It can be a landscape lens, but as you find out with everything, that you can shoot close up with them as well.
Always.
What we've noticed in close up, the bokeh is quite beautiful with this lens. The rendering is a little bit more contrasted. There's a little bit more pop to the image, a little bit more saturation compared to the Nikon one. However, Nikon lens is more neutral, so it's a little bit better on skin tones.
As you said, if you've already got a 28mm lens, then you wouldn't necessarily invest in a Voigtlander. But if you don't have a 28 and you're looking for something that will literally work on all of your cameras and will have both the resolution capabilities for modern digital as well as working beautifully on a film camera, then the Voigtlander is a really nice choice.
Yeah, it's a small and compact. If you use it on film, it's just gonna look the part. It's beautifully manufactured, it's all metal, it's beautifully made overall. So if you go there, even for the looks, it's a beautiful piece of engineering. However, Nikon one is not far off.
The Voigtlander is actually slightly heavier than the Nikon, even though it's more compact. And they do often do sort of chrome and black filter rim options. So you've got a really vintage retro look. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and a subscribe. We'd super appreciate it.
And if you found this video super useful, there's super things button there as well. Go ahead, just click it.
Super. And just a quick reminder that Grazer Westminster is a stockist for the Nikon mount Voigtlander lenses. So should you desire to purchase a 28mm f2.8 or any other Voigtlander product, you can do so using the link in the description box.
Yeah, you know what's interesting thing, Becky, is we're not just stocking them, but we actually use them ourselves.
That's right.
And that's all you need to know how good the product is.
I was like, you need to sit straight.
I know, but I like how we talk to each other while looking away from each other. You know, you know.
Okay.
Because that's how people talk. You know.
Talking to the camera.
In movies, you know.
That's true.
Everything for the composition. And, yeah.